So I'm tired of the reliability issues of replacement parts with GM modules for the HEI. I've got an MSD 647 here. Let's get it installed and see if it's better than what was in there. So to be completely transparent, the module failed. It had been in there for who knows how long. I replaced it with a part from AutoZone. It failed in less than 1 week after I put it in. It was covered under warranty, and that's currently what it's been running on for a while. But because I didn't want to keep having this problem in replacing modules, I got the MSD module. So we're going to use that. So here's the MSD module. Part number 83647. There's a link down in the description for this guy. So why would you want to use this over what GM would use from the factory? Well, the problem is that sometimes the newer ones, electronics are having problems because they're kind of all made in China, and China's been having quality control problems. So this represents a far improvement over anything that's new. There's a lot of electrical failures going on in new electrical components. So this one, I've actually run in that El Camino, not this module, but I've run one of these in that car, and it's performed flawlessly for a very long time. This is the new version that has a built-in rev limiter. I'm not going to be using the rev limiter, just don't need it. This car never gets driven that hard to need the rev limiter. It's a cruiser. It's just a mild, smooth 350. So the basic premise is you take the old module out, you put this guy in, your mag pickup plugs in there. You've got to the distributor cap, as always, and a ground. An extra ground just makes a lot of good sense, so that way, you know, everything works like it's supposed to. That avoids any grounding issues that you may have at the distributor. You know, sometimes if you're running a distributor like this, you have a gasket at the base of the distributor to the intake manifold. That can be an issue when you're trying to ground things out. It doesn't have a good connection. Even the little foot that holds on to the distributor, it may be painted, it may be dirty, who knows what. That's not necessarily a reliable ground to use. So what's in the box? You got the module, you got a wire that could be operated as a jumper to the tachometer, you've got a small bag of parts which includes the nuts, bolts, screws, the low resistance distributor rotor bushing, and some thermal compound. That's to help dissipate heat. It gets spread along this surface. This surface goes in the bottom of the distributor like that. You connect to the mag pickup here. On the output of the module, you've got a big ground, which can go to just about anything you feel like it, and the normal connector that goes to the cap of the distributor. And per the instructions, the little wire here, black one, this guy here, it goes basically where the little condenser capacitor, there's a canister in there. I'm not sure the correct term, but that just gets bolted down to the place where that guy bolted. I believe it's also to help grounding. It's time for the first start with new parts. Make sure everything's happy. Let's see how we do. Hit the key, it comes to life exactly as it's supposed to. I call that a win. Now, yes, I know, I still have the tachometer wire that could be hooked up, but let me show you something. This car doesn't have a tachometer, and we're still using the original gauge cluster. I mean, it's such a mild, beautiful cruiser. It doesn't need a rev counter, but it's nice to know we've got that option should we need it. So I'm just going to tuck this guy up and zip tie it probably here with the ground wire, so that way it just stays out of the way. So clearly it starts nice. Let's go for a drive and make sure that it performs exactly as it's supposed to. Driving down the road exactly as it's supposed to. Initial reaction says, yeah, this is doing exactly what it needs to do. Just threw the air conditioner on, and the good news is it's not missing a beat. So after the test drive of the Monte Carlo, it performed flawlessly, exactly as it was supposed to, and may even had a little bit more spice on the top end up there. So I call this a win. Now, the reason this car is so important to run correctly is that car actually belongs to my mom, and it needs to run like it's supposed to every time, no questions asked. So the good news is it runs just right, and I'm totally comfortable putting my mom in the driver's seat and have her go for long drives in this beast. It does a good job. It's smooth down the road. It's comfy. The AC works. This is a beautiful car. So, good news is That module is a good fit for the car. It's going to fit everything I need it to, and should down the road we decide we want to get a little bit spicier with it, it's got a rev limiter. I don't foresee that ever being a thing. It's a good cruiser. We'll keep it that way. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you later.